Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel where you can usually find me somewhere around my 400 square foot apartment making something over, or most recently I have been in my garden tending to my roses, which has been such a learning curve as a new gardener, and just planting in general, learning new things, breaking out of I'm learning still about houseplants, but it's been so nice to do things in ground. So I am a new gardener. I do live in the city, and fortunately for me, I have a garden almost the size of my apartment, which is great. I love that about my apartment, and it's kind of why I chose it. So today we're going to do an area that's going to make me feel good about myself, like I am moving right along. Hello, dog. How are you? So we're going to do a little herb garden, and the reason I wanted to do this was A, to feel accomplished and to have some spices to cook with, but also because I only get full sun on half of my garden. So let me show you. So this is my little garden. My roses have just started blooming, which is making me so happy, and it smells so good. My lavender is on its way. This is a shade plant. This is all shade on this side. So this is pretty deep shade, and then this is going to be part shade, part sun, and then this side is all full sun. I have an east facing garden, and I learned that from an app, so if you're interested I can post that app in the description, but it's good because now I know I have early morning light and what kind of sun I get, so it's just nice to know. I'm gonna put a raised bed here, and I wanna put sun-loving veggies there. And then on this side, I wanna put some greens since they can tolerate some shade. So raised beds there as well. And then on this side, what we're gonna do today is I figure we could make an herb garden. And I wanted to take advantage, as full advantage as I can of all the sun. So this side will also get some sun, which is great. Right here I want to put a, what do they call them? Like a planting station. I want to get a planting station here because I think that would make my life a little bit easier. So I got this raised bed pretty cheap on Amazon. If you're not too finicky about color, you can usually find a good price. If you do find a cheaper one, you might have to drill some holes like I did for drainage. There was one big hole for drainage, and then I followed it up with some smaller ones. But yeah, let us get some dirt in here and plant some herbs. So I'm using this raised bed mix in here. I think that they're a little bit more nutritious, which is good. I'm gonna also put in a little bit of fertilizer as well. So now I'm gonna throw in a little bit of garden tone. I'm not gonna use a whole bunch, but because it's a raised bed, I wanna make sure there's enough nutrition for all of my herbs. All right, so as you can see, I filled up the bed kind of high, and that's because I always find myself scooping back for more soil and it will settle. So we do want to leave a little bit of lip, but I filled it pretty high. I'm going to mix this all in, and then I'll show you my herbs that I'm going to plant. So I have all of my herbs laid out for planting, so I know exactly where they're going. It's a little bit of a full planter box, but that's okay. It's my first herb garden, and I'm okay with having a little bit too many. If it gets a little overcrowded, I can always move things. Let me show you what herbs I got. So the first one is a sweet marjoram, which is kind of like oregano. It's a little bit stronger in flavor to me, so a little bit goes a long way. Hello, marjoram. This is tarragon. It is a nice French spice. I really like it with fish, and the leaves are pretty tender, so you can put it in salads. This guy is just parsley. Yeah, just like a plain Italian parsley, and that works well in any sort of Italian mix, as well as I like parsley and basil and those things in my salad, or not my salad, well, also my salad, but eggs. Next I have this cilantro, which I'm very excited for future guacamole endeavors. Then we have this, which I had no idea what it was, but I was captivated by these marshmallow shaped leaves. And they're variegated. They're so pretty. Apparently it is an Alaska mix, and they put off flowers, which is even cooler, and you can put those flowers in salads and things because they're edible. So next, this is just a hot and spicy oregano. This is like a very classic type of oregano. This is a beautiful basil. Like, wow, those leaves are crazy. I have a couple of different types of basil. This one is Pesto Perpetual. It's very sharp in flavor. I really like that. And then I also, over here, I'll show you. I do have a sweet basil planted with a tomato and some marigolds and purple basil. And then I've got some variegated parsley, this one, not parsley, thyme, I'm sorry, Foxley thyme, and it's just so beautiful. And again, it'll work really well in Italian dishes, as well as it would pair nice with the tarragon, I think, too. And this is a red shiso, and that's really lovely with fish and salads. It has like kind of a sharp flavor to it, and I really enjoy it. These are all things that I enjoy, so I'm excited to have it right outside my kitchen window. I found for container gardening, it's really nice to just choose what you love, particularly when you have to be kind of careful and precious about space. And I feel the same way about my apartment. You know, you choose things that you actually really enjoy. Of course, if you want to grow something that is exciting and new to you, do that. But I just think it's really nice to have things that you know that you're gonna love. I like edible flowers. That's what I want. I want my food to look pretty. Someone else may not want that, and that's okay. I think we can all have our own bases. I think it is important though to keep an eye on your zone. I'm zone 7B, so just be conscious of when to bring out some of these herbs, because some of them are kind of tender and won't survive if you bring them out too early. So just a top tip, I don't know if you've seen my video before the last one, it was dealing with frost, so just be careful. So now I'm gonna go ahead and plant them up and water them in. So I'm just going to rough it out. Dig a little spot. Ruffle up the roots just a little bit. Gotta tell you, this is very hard to do with one hand. I don't know where to put this camera, but we'll just kind of, I don't want to pack in the soil too hard. I get a little bit anxious about the squirrels that come up and try to put things in there, but you know. And for me, because I'm a new gardener, I like to tag everything so I can remember, and hopefully in the future I'll get better with recognizing what is what. It's a good learning tool. Now I've got a bunch of other to do. Well, I also bought the sage, I forgot to mention it, but I'm putting it in its own pot because it's kind of a giant plant and it can kind of take on a mind its own. So I got this cute black pot for it. Now that they're all placed in, I'm going to water them in pretty deeply, and that is because A, it's a container and containers always need more water, but also because it helps the soil to settle, and I find that really beneficial for me as someone who deals with a ton of squirrels. So we're just going to try to fight them off best we can by making this not so loose, not super packed, because we don't want to murder the plants, you know, but we'll water him too. Alright guys, that's it. I know it was a really quick, easy video, but I figured it could be helpful or entertaining to those of us who have a smaller dwelling in the city where you have just a little apartment balcony, or you know, even a smaller area right in front of your little apartment. So I love raised beds. I use raised beds and containers on half of the side of the garden that I want to do anything with food because of my city soil. It's not really top notch. So yeah, I've been really loving gardening, and I hope that this was interesting or informative to you. If you like these types of videos, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.